You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Go for a nice walk, cook a nice dinner, go to the movies. These are just all things you could do instead of watch Game 82 between the Oilers and Sharks tonight. Let's get into it with the lead.
You forgot stare at a wall.
Stare at a wall, yes. But you should still watch pre-gaming with Boardsy. Yeah.
Pre-game, pre-wall stare, and post-wall stare with Boardsy.
You don't need to watch the game. Just tune into
We're
Aaron.
not talking the oil tonight. We're talking everything but the oil.
There we go.
Macklin Celebrini. What a guy.
Welcome into the show. We're live from the Sports Closet studio. From jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger. You'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet. It's a Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show that, as always, is brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Aaron, did you have to do a game like this last year? I feel like you definitely would have, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then, fun fact, you guys actually let me go to a San Jose game. It was game 81 of the season, and I went. I think you did the show for me.
Yeah, I think I did the show. Yeah, you're right. I think I did do game 81, and it was just like, well, there's nothing on the line tonight. I think the difference here for the Oilers is that the seeding and stuff has kind of been decided, because last year it was right down to the wire whether or not we were going to play LA.
Yeah.
Because remember, they lost to, I think it was Anaheim or Chicago in like game 81 or game 82 to totally flip the seeding. So there were still things to watch late in the season last year.
That's why we made a tattoo bet.
That's why you guys made a tattoo bet. And I heard Brett is revealing his tonight.
Yeah, he's got options because Brett Kulak's currently 4 up with 1 game to go.
And it's block shots, Kulak versus Emberson.
Yeah.
But so if Emberson blocks 4 shots tonight,
it's a tie, and then we both have to get tattooed.
That's the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a
I
bold
said solidarity bet. Solidarity.
Nice.
Hashtag content.
So there is actually something to watch for. As you can see behind you, my give a shit meter for tonight is relatively low.
Oh, you're registering, though.
Yeah, I'm registering because Connor McDavid getting 100 points. Like, there's a couple of things to watch for.
Going to play 1 shift, get 1 point. Oh, shit. I should have added that to the parlay.
McDavid 1 point.
Too late. All bets are in.
It would not have changed it very
You're worried
much.
about my bet. That's why.
I'm far from it.
Well, let me just start actually along those lines, Jay, with today's Sherwood Ford
storyline, the real storyline.
Yeah, today's Sherwood Ford Giant question brought to you by Nation Valet. Not only are they going to pick up your vehicle, drive it to the dealership, do the routine maintenance, and drive it back, but when you say at SherwoodFord.ca that you want Nation Valet, you're going to be entered into our monthly draws. You're also going to get a Nation swag pack, which includes an Oilers Nation air freshener, which is so cool. One of a kind. Only way to get it is at Sherwood Ford, the Giant. Here is your question for tonight. Connor McDavid is playing. He is expected to get his 100th point because he's playing the Sharks. Your Sherwood Ford Giant question is not how many points Connor McDavid will get tonight.
Okay.
It is how many minutes will Connor McDavid play today?
15.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I'm hoping.
I'll play like half.
I'm hoping under that. I'm hoping.
I just
You're not
think
wrong.
he'll want to have his legs going. I think a lot of them will play tonight for a decent amount. Not like anything crazy.
And I guess it's not like you're playing a San Jose team that's going to be out there for blood or whatever.
Yeah.
There's no rivalry. So
They're out there for pride, though. They're out there for points. They're out there for making that round of golf they have booked tomorrow that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, that's fair. So just going back through the last couple of seasons, Connor McDavid in regular season finales. Back in the Canadian division year, again, there was nothing on the line that night. He played 16-12. He played 1946 against San Jose a few years ago. The Oilers always end against San Jose. 15-16 2 years ago, so that one was a little bit low. 18-10 last year in the regular season finale, which was the final game ever played at Mullet Arena.
Lost.
And then 24-25 is obviously this season. He played 1956 against the Winnipeg Jets and obviously sat against the LA Kings the other night. So, yeah, I think maybe 16 minutes is probably like a pretty safe line for Connor McDavid.
Let's do a poll.
Why?
What do you want the line to be?
I want it to be 0, if I'm being honest, but
you want him to get his 100th point. I'm sure he does too.
I guess.
I don't think he does. I don't think he cares at all.
I think he kind of wants to.
I guess like for the stat line, it's good to have triple digits. So
Yep.
like I said, like what was it when he had to play? It was to get 100 points. It was against Vancouver, and the minute he did it, like he shut it down.
Yeah, I think so.
He did his interview yesterday, and they asked him, and he seemed agitated that they asked him that question. Like he did not like his what's the difference between 99 and 100? That was his answer. He's like, there's no difference to me.
I mean, again, sure, I guess in front of the cameras, but like.
Yeah.
McDavid, I think if you were to ask him, like, hey, there is
most 100-point seasons or like 9 seasons in a row, 100 points.
Yeah.
Like there's something there. Like he's saying the right things.
Yeah.
He doesn't want. He's more mad that you're asking because he doesn't want to have to say it.
Yeah.
Like, don't ask me this. You know I want this.
I don't know.
And we all want it for you. So why even jinx it? Why are you jinxing me?
I also liked when he caught himself being like, I feel so good right now. It was a long season. I didn't get a break after the Four Nations. And he goes, which I'm not complaining about.
If you're listening, NHL is what he said.
Yeah, if you're listening to NHL, which Connor's had a couple little funny lines recently.
He's a
This is
jokester.
what's happening on Tyler's phone right now. He's watching the baseball game. That's how much he cares about
What's the
tonight's
score?
Jays are up 1-0. Listen, this is a playoff year for the Jays. So
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Braves.
What do we think about as a nickname for Vladdy Dinero?
Because of how much money he made?
Yes. And,
I like-
and it rhymes. There's some alliteration there, if you will.
Usually players,
Somewhat.
when they sign any contract, they talk about how much they love the city and the fit, which Vladdy obviously did. He talked about how Toronto's his home. He loves Canada. He's Canadian. But they asked him, what advice did your dad give you throughout this whole process? And he just point blank said, my dad said, get every penny you can from that organization. And I was like, oh, damn. Okay, Vladdy. Sure, that's blunt.
Fair enough.
If you noticed, you're watching along on the YouTube. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat, by the way. We got a little new added piece of the set up there. The Edmonton editions of the Budweiser can. So instead of saying Budweiser, it says Edmonton. It's got the number 11 for Mark Messier. You can't really make it out on the video, but it says City of Champions underneath. All the years.
Like the sprockets.
Yeah, all the years they won Stanleys.
It says Mark Messier on the side.
It does say Mark Messier on the
Mark
side.
Messi in the front.
Oh, yeah.
This
So pretty
marks
cool.
for you. That's what they say.
Shout out to our friends at Budweiser for sending those over. And again, if you missed it earlier in the week, we had Mark Messier on the show. So you can go back and find that interview. And tomorrow,
I hope we can get another player like that one.
can you
day on the
imagine if
show.
we had another Hall of Famer on the show tomorrow?
Wait a minute.
That would be
You think
crazy.
there's a dream scenario in which there could be another Hall of Famer that would want to come on this show?
I know.
Due to the success of Mark?
Could be anyone. Rod Phillips.
Paul Coffey,
Definitely not Paul.
Oh, that-
Al Hamilton,
Could be Al. Could be Kevin.
could be Grant Fear.
be
Maybe
Grant.
we'll tell you all by the end
Could
of the
be
show today.
Wayne.
Probably not Wayne. I mean, maybe
I
Wayne.
mean, Liam, why would you, like, that's... Now,
What? Could be Wayne.
Uh,
Or Wanye.
yeah, it's just Wanya.
Wanye face reveal.
We got a question in that would drive an insane amount of viewers. We got a question in the chat here from. I just totally lost it.
There's some super
Steve.
chats.
Yeah, there were a couple of super chats. Okay, let's get to the super chats quickly because those were in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, who we love very much. Duran, who is so generous, he's always dropping them in. He says, feeling more positive after hearing our captain yesterday. LFG Cup year. Let's smack LA in the face with a brand new team. Quote, not as bad as it seems. And the McDavid line was pretty interesting.
What did he
here.
say?
He said some of the injuries are not as bad as it seems.
He said that they could go. Like he said, like a
Well,
lot of us
I
right
just
now
care
could
about
go.
Ekholm and Ekholm only. We know everyone else is fine.
Yeah, and here's Spec had this. I don't like the whole notion that we're the walking wounded here. We're ready to roll. And it did lead to
Ooh, run through a wall.
it led to a little bit of speculation that maybe Connor McDavid knows something about Matthias Ekholm that, maybe Chris Knobloch's keeping under wraps. Maybe the Oilers saying he's not playing round one is just a little smoke bomb to the LA Kings going, look over there.
I don't think so.
Boom.
'Cause he
Matthias
had-
Ekholm right there.
He answered that question too, and he seemed very disappointed.
Connor did?
Yeah, because he was clearly trying to like beat around words a little bit, and he said we know Matthias will be back with us when he can play again, when he's healthy enough to play again. But like you could see he was like trying to think of the right thing to say, which to me made it seem like even first round is coming back after the first round isn't gonna happen. But hey, at least we have Cam Denis.
Deneen.
Doesn't
Connor
matter.
Carrick. Connor Carrick.
Connor Carrick, no relation to Sam. Paul
Yeah.
McGrew,
Don't
no.
call me Sam Carrick.
No maple syrup family businesses.
No.
I know, it's a
Unfortunately
shame.
not.
I do love a good maple syrup.
A pretty depleted Oilers lineup tonight. And before we get into that Oilers lineup, let's do our one big take for Service Credit Union. It's your chance to win $1 million The Service Big Share Contest is back. Anyone can enter by becoming a member and saving with Service. Every $500 saved gets you 5 entries into the Service Big Share Contest. It ends on April 30th, 2025, so you only have 2 weeks left. Skill test required. For rules, visit service.ca/win. Our one big take will go around the horn. Did the NHL get it right, giving Darnell Nurse a 1-game suspension? Jay, I haven't heard your take on this yet.
I want to add Jay's.
They nailed it.
Did they nail
Were
it
you
from
surprised?
a biased Oilers perspective, or do you think this is a fair outcome?
Did you think they were going to give him game 1 of the series?
No. This is like a playoff level suspension, right? Where it's a 2-gamer, but it's a 1-gamer.
See, I think the NHL kind of had to. I thought it was going to be 2.
I thought they were giving him game 1.
But I think what you're saying is kind of what I was thinking yesterday too. Is like they probably wanted to give him 2 games, but realized that giving him game 1 of the playoffs was too harsh.
That'd be like giving 3 games.
It's a signal that the NHL actually knows how bad Matthias Ekholm's injury is.
I would agree.
I do think some things that come into play on this is like, yes, he absolutely cross-checks him, but the first cross-check was a minor penalty. The second cross-check is what pushes it to a major, but it wasn't so much of like a drive his face into the ice cross-check. Like, he definitely gave him a pop. It's definitely dirty. You definitely cannot do this, but I don't think it's at the level of like even what McDavid did to Garland. So I think it's hard to justify a bigger suspension. I was just a little bit worried about a couple of things. One, that they're just going to say, no, we're setting the precedent that a cross-check to a player's head intentionally is a 3-game suspension, and they would have given him 2 games because one of them would obviously have been a playoff game. They had the obviously past precedent with McDavid and Myers, and as you pointed out, the Timo Meier incident as well. And then there's the other side of it, and I've already seen Kings fans do this on Twitter, and I don't think there's anyone out there who goes in the NHL that goes and tries to intentionally hurt a player on the other team. But Kings fans were sitting there going, whoa, whoa, whoa. If that gets you 1 regular season game, what's stopping Vlad Gavrikov from doing that to Connor McDavid in game 1? Or going and just taking a liberty if you're Joel Edmondson on Leon Draisaitl if he comes even close to the front of the net? That's why I thought the NHL would give Nurse the first game to like send the message ahead of what will be a very, very spirited and probably at times out of hand series. I thought they were going to send a message that we are not afraid to suspend guys for playoff games.
I don't think you're wrong. I think the NHL player safety has just done such a bad job recently. Like, even just from watching Oilers games, like obviously the Gudas one, I think deserved to be punished. You think of like the Derek Forbett thing the other day where he broke his eye socket or something
bone.
like that. There's been a bunch of things, and it's just like they just seem to get it wrong every time. And I think if this was an extra game in the regular season, there would have been a 2-game suspension. I'm happy it's only 1, but you're right. Like, what's to say that now that doesn't happen? I guess you can look back at previous playoffs and say, well, Carson Soucy got 1 game for his cross-check to McDavid's face too. So that's maybe the precedent there. So I don't think they got it right, but I'm glad they only did that.
Yeah, I agree with you. We'll get Devan Dubnyk's take on that in a little bit, but it does tie into tonight's hockey game because the Oilers are not going to have Matthias Ekholm. They are not going to have Darnell Nurse. So who the heck is going to play D?
So you thought it was a 2-game suspension?
I thought he was going to get game 1 of the series. Not that I would have fully agreed with that. I thought it would have been a bridge too far. But
I just think cross-checking someone in the head it's
bad.
Not good.
It's not good.
I think any headshot deserves to be looked into.
And as I said to you, Liam, he is face down, defenseless on the ice. There's no threat in that way at any.
Yeah. So also as well, when McDavid did it, so I guess the difference would be in the video they labeled McDavid as retaliatory after what had happened when the refs didn't call the penalty. This one is clearly just, you could probably label it as an intent to injure. No. Like, that's probably why you got the 5.
Yeah, I also do think, McDavid was end of a game, guy comes up to him, he's annoyed at him,
After
retaliates after the whistle.
Yeah.
Darnell Nurse was a bit more of like, the first shove, I think Nurse can justify and be like, he was going towards my goalie, I wanted to take him down.
He was jamming the goalie.
Yeah. So I do think that does change it a little bit. We'll talk to, again, Dubnyk about that in a little bit, but we're ripping through the first part of the show. Let's talk about tonight and who could be in the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. Could be anyone, but our lineup report is brought to you by Oodle Noodle, celebrating 20 years. And 20 years is the platinum anniversary, which is why Oodle Noodle is introducing the platinum pairing on from now until April 20th. In-store, takeout only, get 2 signature boxes and 2 spring rolls for $20. 20. Hashtag Oodle turns 20. Stop into an Oodle Noodle today. The blue line for the Oilers. Brett Kulak with Evan Bouchard. That actually might be a pairing in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Because then you just go Nurse and Wallman, and I actually think your top four is survivable. Kulak had a bad final month of the season. I understand that. But still, I think I trust him to elevate and play relatively heavy minutes with
Was
Bush.
it bad?
Yeah, what?
He was getting outscored and outchanced with pretty much everyone they put him with, yeah.
Interesting. I thought he was.
There was a stretch
So
when
put
he
him
was
with Bush
leading the
then.
team in
That's
ice
the
time.
solution.
That'll help.
He was playing a lot, but I mean, whatever.
I think I would do Wallman, but
You do Wallman and Bush and then Nurse
Kulak's
and
got to
Kulak?
get used to
Yeah.
playing both sides.
there you go.
What would you do?
Well, you don't have a choice.
No, I mean for the playoffs. When Wallman and Nurse are back, what's your top four?
Well, maybe you are just doing what they've done all season, where you just have like Wallman just replaces Ekholm, and then the lineup is relatively the same: Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, Emerson, and you just bump up Kulak when you need to, right?
Yeah.
Would you want so it's Wallman Bush?
Yeah, that's what they've been doing while Ekholm's been out. So I just think they'll just go back. To
I
I
just
Wallman.
like the
feel like you
idea-
got to split Wallman and Bush just
I agree.
because they're both puck movers and like
You're stuck in a hole here.
yeah, no, it's a to quote a Star Trek term, it's a Kobayashi Maru. It's a no-win scenario.
I don't understand that reference.
We're
don't
all
watch
a
Star
little
Trek.
bit after the Star Trek generation. I
Yeah.
think.
New Discovery, they even reference it there, and they also reference it in the movies.
The movies are awesome.
Chris Pine
True, yeah.
Yeah, the
and
movies
the
are
new
good.
Spock.
Yeah.
So you
Zachary
dropped
Zachary
Quinto.
Quinto.
you dropped a Star Trek.
says Kobayashi Maru.
You dropped a Star Trek line, but you won't answer the question. What do you do with the top four game one of the playoffs?
So it's a no-win scenario.
yeah.
Okay. So that's
I'm
your
saying-
answer
I'm,
is
I'm
just
saying Wallman and Bush is not the answer.
so then your answer is Kulak, Bouchard, Nurse, and Wallman. Everyone's
I
playing,
would probably rather Nurse with Bush.
and then Kulak and Wallman.
Yeah.
Nurse and
The
Bush.
one I presented at least has everyone on their natural side of the ice.
Well, if
No.
whoever plays
Wallman's
with
a lefty.
Bush has
Yeah.
to play both sides anyways.
Okay, now this conversation's over. Tonight,
How much you
the
paying,
second
dude?
pairing will
Why do
be
you think Ekholm's so good? That guy just covers up his tracks, man. It's
I
good.
don't-
We need him.
We do need him. There's no
And
doubt
I
about
want. We need playoff Bush. We need playoff Bush.
Evan Bouchard is consistently elevated the last two postseasons.
Unbelievably defensively.
Yes, like I don't know how you can even ignore that. Did you watch the playoffs the last 2 years? Regardless, second pairing tonight, Cam Dineen and Ty Emberson.
It's a lot of shade towards Matthias
it.
Ekholm.
Camden and Ty Emerson.
Are you interested in seeing that pairing?
I just can't believe.
We gotta look what you got. You never know. They might surprise you. Game 82.
I can't believe we're here.
I mean, there is an
We're hurt, Liam. We are banged up, bro.
It's funny.
there is an outside chance that's a pairing on night one of the playoffs if Stetcher's not ready to go.
Stop it.
Man.
What do I want? Night one of the playoffs? Oh my god, I want
Cam Dineen
my
with Ty
eyes
Emberson.
sewn shut.
Josh Brown and Connor Carrick is your third pairing.
That'll be exciting.
Riverboat gambler Connor Carrick. He likes to toe drag his, the blue line as last man back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm curious about Connor Carrick tonight? Is how have Denis and Josh Brown
Dineen.
my knee. How have those
He's
guys
missing the end?
He's missing the last end every time.
Cam Dineen? Like, why has he not been called up before? Like, he has a few, I think he has like 100 games in the NHL. Right?
Yeah.
I just find it interesting that he's like now probably the fourth defenseman they've had to call up. Like, why
Someone
are
who
we
loves the Queen can't get Kevin Dineen.
Cam. It's not Kevin. It's
His
Cam
dad,
Dineen.
Kevin.
I don't even think they're related.
His second uncle.
All right, forward lines before we get out to the guest line. Nuge with Skinner McDavid taking line rushes with Skinner and Brown. So they are reuniting that line. I think we see it
Brown
night one of the
goal.
playoffs. I think we see it night one of the playoffs, boys.
What?
Skinner, McDavid, Brown.
I'm Chom out. I've thought about it.
You're out on it?
I mean, okay. Let's unpack this. Okay. The positives. If Connor can just drag this line to work, man, does the other three lines look good?
That's the whole point.
Totally.
But wow.
But why should he have to?
I watched
You know?
I watched Connor McDavid against the San Jose Sharks on Friday night just feed Connor Brown like crazy.
He did.
Like crazy. And couldn't score. Got the empty netter. That was a lot of nice
That's the
charity I think by
thing.
Nurse, and I needed that because I bet on Connor Brown.
You can't. I don't think you should experiment too much in the playoffs.
But they've been running with it now for a few games,
I know,
so
but
it's not much of
Hyman's-
an experiment.
Hyman's been injured.
Sure.
I just think you need goals are so precious that you can't miss opportunities.
Yeah. And we need Connor and Drive really need to carry us here. Really need to carry us. Now
we need to get through it quickly.
I mean, in theory, try it, test it, Sure. Fail fast.
Try it for game 1. It either works or it doesn't. On to game 2.
Part of game 1.
Sure.
But if it works, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I see the upside if we're just suspending the fact that is the line. Because that line, right? Remove the fact that is the line they're talking about assembling. The upside of what happens with the other 9 players is tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if that's a good line.
Doug Wade put in the chat, rest Kulak and Bouchard too. They can't because they have no cap space to call.
Yeah, there are some
Is
teams
this an emergency call-up situation?
Yeah, Connor Carrick is.
Connor Carrick's the emergency guy, yeah.
Can't we?
Because Nurse obviously can't play. They actually have, and Bakersfield also plays tonight. You got to give them some players too.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
Man.
Dubnyk here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
let's see what he's.
Let's talk to Dubnyk. Star Mechanical Guest Line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more by visiting them online at starmechanical.ca. Residential, commercial, 24/7 emergency service. They do it all, and they do it well. Shout out to Star Mechanical. Shout out to former Oiler Devan Dubnyk, who's stopping by for his weekly appearance. Devan, the game tonight means just absolutely nothing for the Edmonton Oilers. Were you ever, you obviously were, but what are these games like when it's game 82, you're playing, okay, first off, great new setup. Tremendous work on that with all the masks behind you. 10 out of 10.
Thank you. Yeah, little makeshift office. I just started grabbing helmets and sticking them in here. So
see the
upgraded camera. Hopefully it works a little better.
As your career went on, did you... I would imagine as a goalie, man, this probably goes back to your junior times, but the first time you get a painted custom mask, it's unreal. As you went on in your career, did you care more about the details or did you care less about your masks?
Oh, I love my masks. I love doing them every year. I try to do a combination of having my own ideas and then kind of letting the artist do those. I'm not an artist, so I'd give him my thoughts, maybe a couple pictures that I liked. I love having my kids on the mask and stuff, and then kind of work back and forth. But I was always very involved in the design of the mask and had ideas. I always wanted it to look good from a distance, but then have some cool details. So that was always something I loved doing. And then towards the end, my last, I think 3 or 4 years, I was doing 2 masks, 1 home, 1 away. So that was a lot of fun too.
That's how you know you really made it, when they let you rock 2 different masks. Let's talk about this game tonight for the Oilers. Again, playing a Sharks team that's out of it. The Oilers are missing still a handful of regulars. They can't move in the standings. What are these games like where, yes, you need to go out there and show out and you want to be playing well heading into the playoffs, but this game means nothing?
Yeah, it sucks. It's hard. You need the guys. You need the guys, the younger guys with less experience, to really step up and bring the energy in these games, because they're just, again, the guys that have been around, the guys that are going to be your playoff guys. You're going out there. You have to work hard. You're trying not to get hurt. It's 60 minutes that you don't really want to be a part of. I played when I got traded to Minnesota. I played 38 games in a row. We clinched with 3 left, so I didn't play the next game, or I didn't play the next 2 games. But then it was too long of a time between, so I had to get in the last game. And we were playing against St. Louis, and we were playing St. Louis in the first round. And it was what's this game going to be? Is everybody going to try to kill each other? Is nobody going to try to hit each other with the puck? Which way are we going with this here? And it ended up being the latter, where it was nobody hit anybody, and just nobody wanted to get hurt. And it was just no energy. Everybody just watching the clock. I played the first 2 periods and got out of there. And it was just I could have done without that 60 minutes. So it's something you have to do, but it'll be a good chance for some younger guys and some call-ups to bring some energy and get some good minutes. But as far as worrying about playoffs, it's kind of hard to emulate what they're going to be seeing in the first round, game 1 in these games.
You want to talk? Do you want to go Nurse suspension?
Yeah. What did you make of the Darnell Nurse suspension? Obviously, 1 game. you could make the argument he wasn't going to play this game anyway, so it kind of means nothing to the Oilers. But do you think it's fair, the one game? Do you think it could have been a couple more? Do you think it should have been less? What did you make of it?
I think it's circumstantial. I think that they kind of had the perfect scenario that they were able to suspend him for a game that didn't matter, so that they can say they suspended him. I think if that was game 82 and next game was game one of the playoffs, I think it would have been looked at a lot harder, and I would have been very surprised to see a suspension. If you watch the play, I don't see. Yes, you can't do that. All right, it's after the whistle, but you don't. To me, it's like he's just trying to give him a shot. He's not trying to bury his face in the ice. He's not. He doesn't even really cross check. He has both his hands on a stick. I'm seeing more of a punch kind of in the upper back, and his stick kind of gets the back of the head and pushes him down. Again, that's Darnell Nurse has to be aware and not do that. And especially if you hurt a player, that should go into it as well, because if that player is out for any amount of time, that has to go into the decision as well. But I don't think it was malicious enough to warrant a suspension. But again, it was kind of the perfect scenario when they were able to give him one that could show that they penalized him without it actually really mattering in the grand scheme of things.
Round one, Oilers Kings, part 4. They say only the best movies get made into a fourth part.
Yes.
But the Oilers, of the years have gone on, beat them in 7, beat them in 6, beat them in 5. I don't think anyone's expecting a sweep, obviously, this season. But what do you make of this Kings team? Is there something different about them this year compared to years past that would maybe allow them to be better suited to take down this team?
It's tough to say because they were good teams in the past too. I do think they're a better team. I like Kemper and net there, and they've had their way a little bit with Edmonton this recently, which doesn't matter, but it doesn't hurt. I'd rather be the team that feels good about playing another team than vice versa. And again, when it comes to playoffs, that doesn't matter. But it's going to come down like before. I think if this is a weird thing to say, but if the Oilers power play can clip at 50%, they got a good chance. But you watch their power play is so good in those other playoff series that it was almost automatically a goal, and those were huge parts of their previous playoff series wins. And I think with this Kings team looking a little better than they are, with Edmonton being a little beat up injuries wise, I think that power play, if it is going to be a make or break for them.
I think an interesting storyline in this series, obviously being the 4th year in a row, the Oilers have faced Jonathan Quick, then it was Cam Talbot, then it was UC, what was his name, Corpusalo,
Jonas
then
Corpusalo.
then Cam Talbot, and now it's Darcy Kemper. What makes Kemper so much better than those other guys that could give LA more of a chance?
Kemp seems to be really comfortable there. It's been a good transition. Obviously, he had a little blip there in Washington, but he's been a good goalie in the past. And again, you talk about the experience side of it. He's won a Stanley Cup, and so he's been through the 2-month grind of going all 4 rounds in the playoffs, and that is something. So he has the experience there. And for whatever reason, he's slid right into LA and been a great fit for them, and they've had an incredible season with him. So take that, add it to the experience of going all the way with Colorado, and I think he's an upgrade to, well, not Jonathan Quick in the past, but he's an upgrade from the past couple.
Yeah, I mean, even Jonathan Quick that year, he had a really, really tough regular season. Like, he was not in his prime Hall of Fame Jonathan Quick.
Thank goodness.
The other series in the West, and I guess maybe we'll just get you to do sort of the whole bracket here, but you got Vegas taking on Minnesota. I think Minnesota is going to be a way tougher out than people are giving them credit for. And then the other Pacific series, obviously Edmonton, LA. What are your picks for the 2 Pacific series?
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I'll be rooting for Minnesota just so that we can have some chance to go to some live games here. I can't see Vegas losing that one. I got to go with Vegas there. They're just, again, experienced, and they're a tough beat in the playoffs. But I do think you're right. I think Minnesota is going to give them a lot more than people expect. Minnesota is scratching and clawing with a pretty depleted lineup for a good stretch here the second half, and they got Eriksson back with Kaprizov, and those guys are putting up numbers coming in here, and they were able to clinch last night. So I'll go with the Golden Knights. Let's say in 6. Kings and Oilers. I gotta be. Let's go Oilers in 7 here. Because I can't say anything else, and I do think that they should win this series. It's been a bumpy road again, injuries wise. I think that's going to be a huge thing for Edmonton is who's in and who's healthy, and whether that power play is going or not.
So then let's do the Central Division series here. We got Winnipeg taking on St. Louis. St. Louis, since February 1st, has the highest points percentage in the entire NHL. And that's a 30-game sample. That's basically a third of the year. But Jets and Blues, Stars and Avs. Give us your picks for those two.
Oh, and these, that's a 1-8 matchup. That shouldn't be a 1-8 matchup because like you said, St. Louis is not an 8 team. The way that they've gotten in and the way that they're playing right now, so unfair to Winnipeg to get that matchup in the first round. But I still think Winnipeg's built better than they have been, and obviously having the best goalie in the league in Connor Hellebuck. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give that one to Winnipeg in 7. I think most of these are gonna go 7.
Yeah.
And then on to Dallas Avalanche. Again, just a crazy series that we get this in the first round of two teams that are essentially Stanley Cup contenders. But I think with Landeskog coming back and this Avalanche team that they've built throughout the year, which looks absolutely nothing like the team that they started with to start the year, top to bottom, but that boost from Landeskog, I think, is going to push Colorado up and over. And let's go in 6.
Yeah, the Oilers Kings is obviously going to be tight. I do think Mini and Vegas is going 7. That's going to be I'm putting out my bold predictions on the website later on this week, and that's one of them. I actually think Minnesota's going to beat them. Every year, there's always one just absolute stunner, and you mentioned Minnesota's health. Like, Eriksson has looked nasty since he came back. Kaprizov hasn't missed a step, and that game 1 of the playoffs might be the first game all season that their blue line is fully healthy, which is going to be massive. So I also love Gustafsson between the pipes. I think, again, they gave Fleury his nice send-off yesterday. They're handing things over to Philip Gustafsson for the playoffs. I think he's the kind of guy who can have a big series. You wanted to talk player poll before we let him go.
Yeah, so the NHLPA put out their player poll yesterday. I'm just curious, how much do players actually care about this in the sense of like when they're voted and stuff? Is there much thought put into who you're picking in certain slots?
Did they have this back when you played?
They did, yeah. It's much. I mean, it looks a lot better when it gets released now. It was kind of a side note that would get released, and some media would ask you about it here and there, but it was more just like a website press release before. But I was looking at it earlier. They do a pretty good job now on the release, but I think it varies. It gets put out to all the players. They encourage guys to do it. Not something you feel like doing. Trust me, I don't know how many times I did it, but a lot of times it gets put in your stall and you're like, no, I'm not taking a pen and paper right now after practice and sitting down for 45 minutes and filling out 20 different categories or whatever they are. But it is important, and they do push that on the guys to just take the time and do it, because people want to know what the players think, and that's really what it's supposed to be, is not what we see every day. That's why they ask some unique questions and stuff, but really what the guys who step on the ice with all of the players, what they think. And that's why it's interesting. Some of the answers you get are, some of them are obvious, but a lot of them they'll bring guys up that kind of like you hadn't really thought about, because they're not your top kind of media guys that get camera time all the time. So it's a cool poll that way. You get some different insights and different looks from guys that see them on the ice and have to go head to head.
All right, so you're going to be riding with us on our pre and post game shows with Boardsy for the whole playoffs. So you're going to be right there with us, game in, game out. How fired up are you for playoff hockey? And I don't know, maybe be a little bit invested.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I can be a little bit of a homer. This is exciting. I'm gonna have to get the coffee out. It's gonna be late nights for me out in Central Time. So we're gonna have 10:30 starts, I think. So I got 3 kids. I don't stay up late anymore. This is going to be.
I hear you, man.
I'm going to have my eyelids pinned open, but so they got to give me some exciting games at least to make sure I'm awake.
I'm sure they do. I'm also seeing a bunch of people throw in the YouTube chat some questions for you, which is a good time to announce that we're also going to be doing a weekly show with you. Hashtag Ask Doobie is coming every Wednesday to the Oilers Nation YouTube. We'll have more information for everyone later on in the week about how they can submit questions on a daily basis. I said we should just put out your phone number and people can just text you, but that got shot down.
You could do it. I'll probably answer them the same as I answer everyone else, which is not very often. So I'm pretty bad with texting. So anybody that's watching, just remember I don't dislike you. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've had fun with you guys and looking forward to getting on a weekly thing and connecting back with Oilers fans who have been so good to me.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see you next week when we have you on. Everybody else could see you as soon as Sunday. We don't have the schedule dropped for sure yet, but the Oilers are either playing Sunday or Monday against the LA Kings to kick off the playoffs. So I guess everyone else will see you then. Oh, Aaron?
Dubes, I still have an open offer if you ever want to come down to Greta during the playoffs, because I think that'd be pretty fun. But you mentioned the kids thing, so that's okay.
The kids,
Yeah,
damn it.
you can.
Let's go deep and we'll make it happen.
You can ask my wife. You can ask my wife that. That'll be a request to her.
Can Doobie come out and play?
Yeah, please. Can he please come to Edmonton for a playoff game with us?
Can you look after all 3 kids so that we can go to the pub and watch a game?
All right. See you, Devan.
All right. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Devan Dubnyk, former Oilers goaltender, former
can make it
NHLer,
happen.
and now a colleague with us.
We can make it happen.
Yeah, colleague. Wow.
Some might even say co-host.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Mistaken Mexican drops in a $40 super chat. Says, W. Dubnyk. Can't wait to see him on pre and post game. Yeah, giddy up. Excited for that. Excited for a bit of a more longer form show as well. It's going to be every Wednesday on the Oilers Nation YouTube. It's going to be your submitted questions, and like a bunch of you had questions about the masks and whatnot. I'll give everyone more details tomorrow on where they can submit things. But yeah, really, really fired up for that. It's going to be cool to kind of let Devan go more in depth on things he wants to go in depth on.
Yeah. Sorry, Jay. I thought you were going to say something.
I was thinking about it.
What were you thinking about saying?
But I wasn't. What signal did I give you to think I was going to say something?
I don't know. I felt like this would be an exciting moment for you, and I didn't want to take that spotlight away.
Former Oiler doing a show at the company.
Oh, it's a milestone moment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I thought you were going to say.
There we go.
I was going to say, yeah, it's going to be great.
If you would have told 2007, Jay, this is happening, I would probably faint.
I'm very excited that whenever there's any type of debate on a play of a breakdown or this guy did this, what'd you see there? We all debate it in the chat. Let's just go to Doobie and we'll let Doobie tell us how that actually went down and we'll go from there. Very stoked for that.
Love his take on the Nurse situation.
Yeah, I think, again, he is kind of right in that regard. Yeah. All right. Continuing along with the show, Jack Michaels just confirming a couple of lineup things here for the Oilers. The only change is that Sam Carrick is in for Darnell Nurse.
Sam Carrick.
Connor Carrick. Sorry.
You
Connor,
can't go around saying,
how
I can't
dare
say Cam Denny, right? And then you call him, damn it.
Oh, I thought you did it on purpose.
No, I meant to say it right.
Queen, Deneen.
Cam the Queen.
I'll
Deneen.
never get it. He won't be here long enough for me to need to know his name.
McDavid's obviously in because they're going to have 12 forwards tonight. Connor Carrick is in for the suspended Darnell Nurse, but a full lineup for the Oilers with Stuart Skinner starting tonight against the San Jose Sharks. I guess while we are at it, I can give you the San Jose Sharks lineup really quick. Toffoli, Celebrini, Will Smith, Alex Wenberg with Will Eklund and Cam Lund, Ty Dellandrea with Nikolai Kovalenko, and Daniil Gushkin. Goosh. The Goosh.
Brad?
Barclay Goudreau with Noah Gregor and Carl Grundstrom on the blue line. Henry Thrun with Timothy Liljegren. Lucas Carlson with Jan Ruda. Jimmy Schultz with Mark-Edouard Vlasic. And starting between the pipes tonight for the San Jose Sharks is expected to be Alexander Georgiev, who, I'll just throw out a prediction here, his last game in the NHL.
Wow.
Back to Bulgaria.
That was quick.
Back to Bulgaria, Gorgie.
I just don't. Bulgarian?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, wow.
Romanov's the future.
I just feel like San Jose's not going to sign him. No team's going to sign him. And he's going to sign for like $3 million in the KHL and go be like the best goalie in the KHL.
Then come back in a few years and everyone's like, oh, this guy sucks. Yeah. There's a comment from James in the chat.
What do you want to read?
I'm a oodle noodle right now. The food is pretty good. What's your favorite thing to get there?
Tokyo Glaze, double beef.
Same.
Yep.
Actually, no.
The platinum pairing.
It's Tokyo Glaze, but I like to get the chicken.
Tokyo glazed with chicken.
Yeah.
That's okay to get chicken.
Yeah.
I'm a jungle curry person at the moment.
Udon noodles.
Do love the udon.
No, I like the small. I did udon, but then I switched to the thin ones.
Chow mein.
Is that what
Who
it's
is
called?
this guy?
I know, that's weird.
Hot Thai
Variety.
box.
Hot Thai box.
Yeah, hot Thai box is good.
Too
right.
spicy.
What else? Oh, okay. Let's do it. It's the biggest part of today's show. It's the biggest thing
It's
that's
the
on
only storyline going.
It really is. It's the Bet365 Game Day Betting Challenge, where every nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner and every suspenseful minute in between is amazing. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code NATION to get in on the game. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. First off, I got in my bet for today's Jays game at 11:06, a minute before first pitch. Chris Bassett over 5.5 Ks. He's got 10 already in this baseball
what
game.
internet are they in? 4?
Top 6. They just pulled them.
Score update.
One rip Jays. There we go. Giddy up. Bet365 Game Day Betting Challenge. It is the last crack at things. Can we see the leaderboard one more time? Jay will need to make up at least 47.2 units with his pick tonight. That does not include whatever Liam does. Because, I mean, Liam, I don't know how aggressive you're going to get. I'm trailing Liam by about 5.65 units. So I'm assuming I need to make up about 8 if I want to win this thing. Because I'm living in a world where you go safe.
Okay.
And then, Jay, you're looking for win number 3 on the year. But damn it, you could still win the whole thing.
What number 3?
Doesn't matter, man.
All right.
Ty
So,
and Liam
did I
didn't
pick-
see each other's bets.
I picked, I'm plus 5,000, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
you're
you'll
50.
cover it. You'll cover
I
it.
spent a lot of time. This
So
morning on
I
this
go.
one.
For, Liam and I have not seen each other's bets yet. I'm going 8-1 over 7.5 goals. I look at that Oilers blue line. I look at Georgiev in net, and I'm just like, they're scoring tonight. So I juiced up the over. Arvidsson, 3 shots. Bouchard, 3 shots. Again, lots of goals, lots of shots. McDavid, 2+ points, 8-1. I like this one. Again, not relying on an Oilers win, just a high-scoring game with 2 McDavid points and some shot props mixed in. Plus 800 should be enough to cover me, depending on yours, Liam. Oh, you did a same gamer.
We're actually a
That's
lot
only
of us.
plus 200.
Yeah, I just knew I needed something decent.
I
So
thought he
did-
was going to go one pick. In
So
this.
now I need...
We actually
It's a
have
lot
pretty
of
much the
legs for
same
plus
bet.
200.
We basically have the same bet, except you put the money line in. I took mine out. I edited mine and took it out.
Well, I put mine in. So I have McDavid
Go
point,
Sharks.
money line win. Oilers to have 2.5 goals. Bouchard 3 shots. Arvidsson 2 shots. Plus 200.
I'm rooting for a Sharks win tonight.
Wow. So
That's wild.
you
5
guys,
legs is plus 200.
You guys, well, yeah, you should root for a Sharks win.
That's the only way I can win the challenge.
because
I like how
don't
this
show
worked
mine
out.
yet. Don't show mine yet.
Also, what time did you sent this to us very early?
I get up early. And that's J time.
The first thing I
That's
see on
6:05.
first thing I see on game days.
So you guys think the Oilers are going to try tonight? That is the bet you're making.
I
just think
don't. I
that's
just
the
think
bet
there's-
you're making.
I just think there's going to be a lot of goals. I didn't bet on them to win.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that's to try. Well, I think they'll.
I think they might just stumble into one against the
don't,
Sharks.
I don't think they
It
tried
is
against the
a
Sharks the other day.
absolute. The only storyline that the Oilers need is to get Connor a point. After that, who gives a shit?
Fair.
And then you got a team that's looking to just try to win this, end the season on a positive on home ice. Mm-hmm. Like the story writes itself. I almost tell it, but I missed the Connor point in my parlay. And the one thing we don't know is what Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini have for maybe bonus targets.
Fair point.
So let's move to me.
Wow.
Sharks are going to win this game because they're the only ones that care about tonight.
Okay.
Because the Oilers don't care, there's not going to be that many goals.
Okay.
Because also the Sharks minor motions. but
Also,
Oilers
all
full
3
motions.
games this season have gone under between these 2 teams.
So under 6.5. Will Smith, Toffoli, Malcolm Celebrini, all on the same line. I say they each get a point each, but Celebrini's going to get 2. And then Will Smith, who appears to be the trigger man from what I've seen, will get 2+ shots. Like all pretty base hit type
Yep.
Props.
I mean, Will Smith has missed that in 2 of his last 3 games, sure, but
Yeah, but not tonight.
And the Sharks haven't won in 10 straight.
Yeah, but
Really?
you
Yeah.
know they're winning this game.
No, I don't.
Go
I didn't know
Sharks,
those
go
were-
kid line.
They're winning this game because we don't care. They're winning this game.
So that's plus
And that's how I'm
5,000.
going to win this game day betting challenge because I went all Sharks, all opposition. That is how I'm going to win this game.
Because Liam would be at 8.5 units if he wins, if he hits his bet.
I'm a
Jay's up 50 units. So
9.3.
yeah.
But that's okay. I would be fine if I lost this challenge because my record's the best and I stood by myself the entire run.
but you would have lost the challenge.
But I
Because you
would've
could say he
won.
stood by himself too.
yeah. I stay true to
That's
myself.
such
fine.
loser talk. You're
But
not
it
in
took
this to
you-
lose.
It doesn't even matter. It's a season long game.
No, I know. And that'd be good
It's
for
a body
you.
of work.
That'd be like an
And I'm
Eagle.
also I'd like to remind the 2 of you, I am the reigning champion.
He is.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, fair
So, yeah,
enough.
Sit
I
here
owe you
and
20
mock me
bucks, too.
all you want.
Well,
I will admit I started the season not in the right headspace. And I accumulated a deficit, so I had to dig myself out taking big swings.
Okay.
Once again, has hit 2 bets.
Yeah.
Jay looking for win number 3 tonight.
Doesn't matter.
I'm going for 18.
If you are a investor
Sorry, I think you actually
and you have
might
a
be
bunch
2
of
and 40.
stocks, are you looking at the overall performance or portfolio in terms of how much you made, or are you just going to isolate some stocks whether they won or lost?
The total.
It's
The
the
total
total.
portfolio.
So
The
my
units,
record's
the units.
irrelevant if I win.
I feel like it's kind of relevant.
And if I lose, it'd be like, well, Jay, you only won twice. So, and that's true. And then my comeback is, but I won last year. So one of you two
ready.
in this situation is going to be a goose because you'll be 0-2 in 2 years of doing this.
Yeah.
And one of you will be 1-1.
I can't believe
and
I'm
joining
rooting-
me in the 1-1 club.
I can't believe
That's
I'm
a
rooting for the
very
Sharks to
club.
win tonight.
You're kind of like the Eli Manning of this betting challenge.
Got my rings.
Got your ring, lose every other year, but man, he won twice.
Going
and
to the
beat
Hall of
Brady.
Fame.
Yeah, probably won't make it to the Hall of Fame.
All
How
right.
excited.
There you go. Shout out to our friends at
I mean, Chad
Bet365.
Powers.
What a ride it's been. Okay, let's quickly get to what's on the line tonight in the NHL because there is something that is on the line in the league. It's the menu, and it is brought to you by the Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 Portable Glass Air Fryer.
Meet the Ninja Crispy Portable Cooking System. The power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hand.
It is an all-in-one system that includes 4-quart, 6-cup Tupperware glass containers and 2 storage lids. The Ninja Crispy is thermal shock resistant and can go from frozen to crispy in minutes. And with the Crispy Power Pod, you get the power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hands. The 4-quart container can fit up to 4 pounds of chicken or veggies, and you can cook a personal-sized meal in 7 minutes in the 6-cup container. You can prep, cook, store anything from crispy favorites to one-dish meals. Visit their website with the link in our description, or stay tuned for a chance to win a free Ninja Crispy, which we will be giving away soon to someone in the YouTube chat. Last night, Calgary saw their playoff dreams come to an end. St. Louis and Minnesota both took care of business, and even though Calgary won, and they could finish with as many as 96 points this year, they are done. The season's over.
Too bad. So sad. Fare thee well, Calgary Lames. They don't have their first round pick, which you mentioned yesterday, either
Yep.
way. So that's funny. Do they have a first round pick at all
They have
from
2.
anyone? Oh,
They have a
do?
New Jersey and a Vegas.
Well, from Nashville.
Well, from Hannafin,
Hannafin,
and
that's what I meant.
Markstrom,
I
yeah.
don't know why I said Nashville.
Um,
All right, well,
Well,
that's
they were
not too
40
bad.
and 41.
yeah.
Right? Is their kind of real record.
Well,
They're
so
right.
this leads to a rant I had today on DFO Live that Frank didn't agree with me on, and it does tie into tonight's hockey game because so Montreal needs a point tonight to make the playoffs.
Okay.
They are playing a Carolina team who is going to be icing a roster that does not include, and the list is long, no Aho, no Jackson Blake, no Jalen Chatfield, Seth Jarvis, Jordan Martinook, Jacob Slavin, or Jordan Stahl.
But Skylar or Brendamore?
Yeah.
Skylar or Brendamore?
So Montreal just needs a point at home against that lowly Carolina team, and they will be in the playoffs. If they don't get a point tonight and Columbus wins in regulation tomorrow, Columbus is going to get that final playoff spot. But what's interesting is, let's say there's a world, just follow me down a rabbit hole for a second.
Okay.
Montreal doesn't win tonight, so they're at 80. They're staying at 89 points. Columbus wins in overtime or shootout in the finale. Columbus and Montreal would both have 89 points. Columbus would have 40 wins and Montreal would only have 39 wins. And yet Montreal would still hold the tiebreaker because they have more regulation and overtime wins. So if you understand what I'm saying, I think it's very dumb that the first tiebreaker is not just total wins. Why do we immediately jump to breaking it into regulation wins or regulation overtime wins before we first sort by actual wins? Because then there could be a scenario still, and this almost played out in the Western Conference, where a team with the same amount of points as another team and 2 more actual wins loses out on a tiebreaker. And that makes no sense to me.
Well, it just leads you to want to have that point system.
3-2-1-0.
They would just solve everything. But you're right. Like wins, the win record should matter the most because you won more games than the other team.
That is the name of the game.
Yeah, you have to win.
W's.
If St. Louis would have won in overtime instead of regulation last night, and Calgary would have won out, Calgary would have made the playoffs on a tiebreaker over St. Louis with 3 fewer actual wins than them. That makes no sense to me. Why are we rewarding overtime losses more than we're awarding actually winning those games in overtime and shootout?
Overtime's it's the free.
But you're
additional hockey.
But you're letting teams make the playoffs just because they racked up more overtime losses.
What you're saying is accurate.
Yeah, that's my rant. Anyways, Montreal can get in with a victory tonight, and they actually opened. I'm interested to see what the line shifted to. They opened as underdogs.
What?
They were plus 110 when I jumped on them this morning. It's now shifted to minus 135. But even that still, so like you can put together a same gamer for the Habs tonight. That is Suzuki and Caulfield to each get a point, and the Habs to win, and it's plus 210. That's a no-brainer.
Demidov point.
Ooh, you want to just throw it in there, or you just want to bet it?
I just want him.
If you throw that in the parlay, it's plus 375. Demidov point and a Habs win is plus 175.
Done. That's happening.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Habs tonight. Also, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just hit his first home run of the season.
Congratulations. Of the $500 million home run.
So right now he's at $500 million per home run.
Yeah.
Well, extension hasn't technically kicked in yet.
Well,
okay.
Better pick it up then.
We're getting real close to the playoffs, which is a good time to remind everyone that our playoff coverage is brought to you by Boston Pizza. This year, we bring it home. Finally, Canada. Why not us? Why not a Canadian team this season? And come on, why not Edmonton? If you believe in the power of manifestation, let's go. Let's dig deep. Let's manifest a win with our friends at Boston Pizza, Canadian original. Since 1964, it has been way too long, so forget the jinxes, forget whatever you did in the past. This year, we are manifesting a cup for Canada.
Okay.
I'm excited for our playoff coverage. We don't have the Oilers' schedule yet.
But I'm speculating,
Big
and I'm willing
manifesting
to put my what would you call it?
Your reputation on the line?
Reputation on the line.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've already done this a few times recently. I think it starts Monday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Or Sunday, Monday.
So here's what Gregor
Saturday,
had.
Monday.
Oilers and Kings still waiting on schedule. Lakers play at home on Saturday and Tuesday, which means the Oilers can either play Sunday and Wednesday or Monday and Wednesday. Gregor goes on to say Game 2 of the Oilers-Kings series will likely be Wednesday, leaves the NHL the option to play on Monday or Tuesday. TV has a big say, would suggest Games 3 and 4 in Edmonton on the 25th and 27th of April, which would be a Friday and a Sunday night next week, which I would personally love. I love the idea of 2 weekend games for the Oilers. Game 5 back on LA on the Tuesday. So everything else lines up. It's just a matter of if they want to give them 2 days off between games 1 and 2 or wait an extra day before kicking off the series. I would imagine, not that the Oilers have much of a say, I would imagine the Oilers would be going, let us just get there on Monday. Give us an extra day at home.
And having it on Wednesday would be great for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
It's St. George's Day.
And there's no better way to celebrate. Yes,
Ben.
I have this marked on my calendar.
I wrote it on the board downstairs.
That's a good omen.
Hey, do you have your outfit? You got your fit ready for that day?
Well,
you better.
It's hard to because we're playing the Kings, so I can't dress up as
Regicide.
It's a regicide.
It's gonna be a crazy day. I can't wait for St. George's Day. Red beer.
As we get red beer, as we get fired up, we should have red beers on the show.
I'm in.
All right.
I have them every year.
Yeah, and I heard red dye and red food coloring is really good for you.
Red number 5 or something like that. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be the one full of antioxidants.
Okay, sweet. We're going to do a lot of that.
Let's order that.
You're better to just tint it with your own blood.
Liam and I are also going to be doing a mega stream.
Mega.
Whether the
mega,
series
mega,
starts
mega,
on
mega,
Sunday or Monday from noon.
Starting from St. George's Day all the way until puck drop.
Starting at noon, we're going to do our usual show, and then we are just not going to stop until pre-gaming with Boardsy
Ever.
at like 7:30 at night or whatever time it'll be. So
Yeah.
giddy up. We have a lot of fun things planned. Aaron has made an Oilers Jeopardy.
I prepared yesterday. Took me hours, and I built a challenging Jeopardy board. I've also created some other games that I told you you're not allowed to look.
Could look like Alex Trebek.
I wanted to I said yesterday to Brad, I was like, I would love to actually.
You got
I want
Alex
to get
Trebek
buzzers.
vibes.
Thank you. That's the greatest compliment you've ever given me.
Those are, well, I wish someone would say that about me.
The mustache, yeah. He
he's
does kind of look like a young Alex
Yeah,
Trebek.
so you got, yeah.
What a legend.
Clipping this.
I love Jeopardy. They have that new Jeopardy out as well. The pop culture Jeopardy. I'm pretty
That
good
one's
at that
fun.
one. Yeah.
So the other thing we want to do for our 7-hour mega stream is raise a bunch of money for the Ben Stelter Foundation. So
I
to
like
do that, we want to create some prompts. And this is where I'm maybe looking to the chat to give us some inspiration. So we're going to set kind of like 4 levels of donation, where if you donate $200, we will do this on stream. If you donate 100, we'll do this. If you donate 50, we'll do this. If you donate 25, we'll do this. So we've been spitballing ideas. Like we were thinking if someone donates X amount, the stream stops until Liam and I make like 10 straight free throws on the basketball hoop or something.
One of us has to do a handstand.
Yeah, we could do a handstand for a minute. Like we want to come up with fun ideas. We're going to have our case of Budweiser. We could shotgun beers. That might get out of hand pretty quick though.
No, I vote that. The sponsors, that's
what they would
what
want.
they're there for.
But if you how much for cat food? Thousands of dollars.
$1,000.
No, more
Someone
than
tempt
that.
him. Someone literally say, I will donate a sum you're comfortable committing to and see if he does it.
Someone said dunk tank. We could do bucket of water on the pad. Actually, no. Is that a good? We can't just dump buckets of water on the patio. That's
Or
a
on
bad idea.
ourselves. That seems like a lot for an 8-hour stream.
Yep, seems like a lot. Anyways,
I want to incorporate the wheel. I want to find ways to incorporate the wheel.
yeah, we could do like if you donate $50, we'll do a wheel spin that has like a couple different things on it.
The wheel is just.
So if you have
Actually,
any,
that's a good idea. We should have a prize wheel. Is that what the wheel is?
It's,
we
you can
could do
do
that.
anything on the wheel.
So
that
put
what we are?
prizes on it, and if someone
Can have
a
multiple
minimum
wheels.
donation,
yeah, if you donate,
and then I get that gets that person a spin, and we'll give them that prize.
yeah,
Should me or Brett just get tattooed on the mega stream?
Hey, might not be a bad idea.
that's actually.
That's why not. We're
We
gonna
should
do it
check
later.
in on you guys getting tattooed.
Or
to
is
make
there a
sure.
tattoo artist out there who will come to our studio and
I've
do it?
talked to several of them. So yeah, here, let me send
Okay,
some DMs.
we're coming. If you have ideas for what we could do for like any sort of donations and stuff, just let us know. Or you DM me, whatever. You know how to get a hold of me. Drop it in the chat tomorrow, whatever.
Think of them over. I'll listen to them in pre-gaming,
Put 'em
post-game
in
tonight.
Put them in the YouTube chat. YouTube chat, as always, brought to you by Odd Company Brewing and the Nation Beer Everyday Lager. A crisp, clean lager crafted not just for game day, not just for the playoffs, but for every day. Go to one of their 2 brewery locations, downtown or Ritchie. Get a flat. You're good for at least the first round of the playoffs. Giddy up. Appreciate Jay popping on again. Thank you. I know you got to run. Great stuff. YouTube chat, tremendous. We're back tomorrow noon Mountain Time. Grant Fear joining the show.
Oh, there it is. Hello. Cats out of the bag.
And maybe someone who played recent-ish playoff games for the Edmonton Oilers. That's a wrap. See you all tomorrow. Oil up.